diaspora caucus are on the streets this afternoon embarking on a demonstration to demand an apology from an unknown member of parliament who recently verbally assaulted Zenator Rawlings, the MP for Klote Kwale, referring to her as a daughter of a murderer. The protest will take place, or is taking place, from the Rawlings' residence to Parliament House, where they intend to petition the leadership of Parliament. So, as you may be aware, the said incident occurred on February 4, 2025. Exactly a month ago, while Minority Leader Afenyo was addressing the House amid heated discussions surrounding the 60th anniversary of J.B. Dankwa's death. The remark sparked widespread condemnation and calls for swift action against the perpetrator. There has been petitions to the Speaker's office for an investigation. Well, this group, the Volta Diaspora Caucus, they've taken it a notch higher, seeking to demand some action from the leadership in Parliament. Safwa Abuahene is my colleague. She's there for us, following this group. She's joined us right now with a bit more details. Safwa, where are the group, or where is the group exactly in their march towards Parliament? Well, it does appear Safwa is not with us just as yet on the telephone lines, but I mean, a lot of you might have seen bits and pieces of the clips on social media and the condemnation that came with it. It actually forced Damongo MP Samuel Jinapor to openly come out on social media to deny ever making those remarks, because there were allegations he was a said individual who made those remarks. Let's go back to Safwa, who's joined us via the phones quickly. Safwa, I'm asking where the group has reached in its march towards Parliament.
Well, yes, Mawena, they are already in Parliament and has been able to submit the petition to the clerk of Parliament already. Yes.
What demands are they asking of the leadership of Parliament now that they've submitted this petition?
So from their presentation, they apparently wrote a letter to Parliament and to the Speaker, giving him 10 days to make the MP who made that comment in Parliament to own up and apologize. And from them, they said the Speaker had travelled, and so they could not get a response from the Speaker to do so. But now they are just giving the Speaker the opportunity to let justice.
Well, unfortunately, we may have lost Safwa again on the telephone lines, but let's hear from some of the individuals who've been speaking to her in relation to their concerns.
We, the members of Greater Accra NDC Volta Diaspora Caucus, are Ghanaian citizens who believe in the idols of the National Democratic Congress. The group is chaired by
each out of the press events. We went to the news and people with the sense of responsibility.
That's the group when they petition the clerk of Parliament seeking to have some action taken. Safwa, just quickly on what they want done. You were seeking to explain that they had petitioned the Speaker earlier, but the Speaker was out of the jurisdiction. How many days are they seeking to have the Speaker fish out this member of Parliament? Well then, it does appear technology will not allow us to have that conversation with my colleague Safwa Abuahene, who has been following the group who've been marching the streets of the capital seeking to have the legislature investigate the development on the 4th of February 2024, where a member of Parliament described Zenator Rawlings as a daughter of a murderer, when there was heated debates on the floor of the House. And if you know parliamentary debates, you know that sometimes they get very feisty as opinions are shared and they heckle each other. Someone made an unfortunate comment which has drawn a lot of anger from a wide section of Ghanaians. Now there's a group which have made its way to Parliament have petitioned the legislature demanding that an investigation be conducted, and the MP fished out and made to apologize. We'll get a bit more details if you stay with us here on our subsequent bulletins, but we're going over our very first break here on Newz Central. When we return...
Source contracts, the bane of many governments and the ultimate source of Ghana's biggest problems, corruption in the Fourth Republic. Increasingly, however, successive governments have failed to deal a decisive blow to this completely legal yet harmful piece of legislation in the procurement architecture, a development which was of great concern to President Mahama during the launch of the 2025 National Economic Dialogue. According to the president, his government will deal decisively with the practice which has ridden the country of millions.
We must review our laws to eliminate excessive waste in the procurement of government supplies and projects. Single-source procurement must be the rare exception rather than the norm. We must also subject government projects above a certain threshold to value for money audits. And just this morning, I was reviewing some of the procurement reports. And there was this procurement for poultry farmers, 10,000 units of something. And it was single source. The reason for single source was urgency. And one company was giving the contract to supply 10,000 units of whatever it was. The supplier and the person who assembles it was not allowed to bid. And so the company that won it went to the supplier, bought the items for 4,500 and came and sold them for 6,600 to government and walked away with 21 million cedis on that supply. I mean, how can you do this? I mean, it was our own company we're running. How would we do a thing like this? But that is government bleeding. Everybody cutting their pound of flesh. That must stop.
So what is sole sourcing and why is it so preferred in most of such corruption cases as cited by the president? Let's get you some information now. Moana Egbeta will do just that. Moana, talk to us about what you're learning about the Procurement Act.
So completely legal, sole sourcing or single sourcing as it is called. And we know that the Procurement Act of 2003 was amended in 2016 as well, Act 914. And we zeroed in on the part about single source procurement, which also is known as sole sourcing. And it's completely grounded in law, where the law reads that where goods, works or services are only available, and these are instances where sole sourcing are supposed to be used from a particular supplier. If a particular supplier has exclusive rights in respect of the goods and no reasonable alternative exists, then there's a considerable reason or justification why any government entity can resort to the use of sole sourcing. And then there's a provision of further justification for which reason sole sourcing can be used. And we had President Mahama states that example he gave about the contractor walking away with 21 million cedis was used. The reason given was urgency. That's another provision as provided by the law when sole sourcing can be used, where there's an urgent need for goods, works or services, and engaging in tender proceedings is impractical because there's a certain sense of urgency that needs to be carried out with respect to the work that needs to be done. And then where owing to a catastrophic event, there's an urgent need for goods, works or technical services, making it also impracticable to use other methods of procurement. And then there's a fourth caveat under which sole sourcing can be used, where procurement entity determines that additional, so we've procured an item from one company and we feel that there's a need for more of such, we can resort to that same supplier using single source to provide a lot more of that same product to allow for standardization, and then the need for compatibility with other existing materials that might have been procured by a said entity. And so those are the basis upon which more often than not we see sole sourcing being used. But as we heard the president complain yesterday, it's become a means by which a lot of the time concerns of corruption becomes lingered or becomes something associated with sole source contract. But a big question we ask is what the NDC plan is with respect to procurement and single source. This is what the NDC manifesto says with respect to that. They say that they will review the Public Procurement Act 2003 at 63 as amended, and that's the amendment which we provided details of, to ensure value for money and transparency in the public procurement process and pursue procurement reforms to prevent conflict of interest and insider dealing by politically exposed persons in the award of contracts. That's what the NDC manifesto says with respect to the entire procurement process, not a direct mention of single or sole source contracts, which the president was raising concerns about. But this is the response the NDC has with respect to the entire procurement architecture. But the big question remains whether or not it answers the question of single source being abused, as has become the case. And we know that the Auditor General has had to raise concerns with reports that continue to come through with the use of single or sole source in procuring certain things for government agencies.
Indeed, obviously, this is a conversation that will go on this entire second term of President John Dramani Mahama. We'll continue to talk about single source and procurement in general. Anyway, right now we'll take a quick breather and bring you Regional Hub. In the town, after residents resisted the locking down of classrooms by the students. On Saturday, March 1st, students of the college locked up lecture halls and boycotted all academic activities with a threat to deal with any lecturer who steps foot in the school. The agitated students, who are first-year students, level 100 students, say they have been deceived by the management of the college regarding the school's status. According to them, they had been told that their school would be absorbed by the government to become a public facility, only to gain admission and find out that it was inaccurate, even though they found the school's name on the website of the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission. The students subsequently locked up classrooms and boycotted classes as a way of registering their displeasure. Now, management of the school is yet to respond to this incident. Christopher Mwako is following the story. He's joining us with a bit more from Daboya. Christopher, what's the situation in the school now?
Yes, so Kamini, I can confirm to you that some military personnel have also been deployed to the school to ensure that the security situation in the school is beefed up. Earlier, police personnel from the Northern Regional, Savannah Regional Police Command, that is in Damang, arrived in the school to ensure that some normalcy is brought to the school. Now, what we do know right now is that even though management of the school is yet to officially communicate to the media, but they have been engaging the students together with the security forces who have been stationed at the school to ensure that relative calm is restored. The community members, on the other hand, have withdrawn from the school premises and have gone back to the community. All they are seeking for is the students to open the classrooms that they have locked because, according to them, it has taken them some time to get the school running. Absorbing of the school is a process, and they do not think that agitating or agitations by the students at this particular critical moment when they should be talking to GTEC, talking to the Ministry of Education and talking to government to finalize the absorption processes. And so what the students are doing is not right, and that the students should calm down for the right processes to continue.
I see. But what are we hearing from authorities regarding the status of the school? Is it public? Is it private? Where are they in the, the status change?
Okay, so they have gone through some processes. An MOU was even signed last year in November between Ghana Education Service, the school itself, the community, as well as GTEC. But the final process, which has to do with the clearance to be given for staff to be recruited, to be given for some infrastructure to be provided the school is yet to be done. Right now, if you go to the Colleges of Education website, you see Savannah College of Education. So the evaluation has been done, the school has been upgraded, and on the system, it is seen as a public college of education, but it has not been finalized yet. So the final process is yet to be done. Now, we are hearing that the agitation is as a result of a promise made by the president during his campaigns that within his first 100 days in office, he is going to ensure that the school is fully absorbed. And according to some people in the community, probably that could be a reason why the students are agitating. And so they want the school to be moved from private to public. But some processes have gone down already.
Very well, Christopher. And just before we let you go, why do the students say whether or not the school is private or public matters so much to them?
Yes, because you know that if after completing a teacher training college, you have ready employment if you go through the public sector. If you go through the private sector, it means that you have to wait. When government is posting teacher training who went through the private system, that is when you will get to be posted. And so that is their cause of concern. They are also saying that, you see, if you go to the private schools, you pay more. As it stands now, they pay more than they are supposed to pay if it were a public school. And so these are the reasons the students have been given.
I see, Christopher, thank you so much for talking to us. Christopher Mwako is our Northern Region correspondent.